Okay, so right now I feel kind of like frazzled because the it was an officer of some sort. Because it was a humane society, but I could see someone out my window down at the end of the driveway, and I could just see a big white van with siren on the top, and I could see someone in a uniform walking around at the end of my driveway. So I went down to see what the fuck, because that's how the Secret Service had showed up at my house, was just like that. And so I went down to see who this was. But of course, every neighbor has a dog, but my dogs are the noisy ones. And, I had company this weekend, and it was quite clear. I mean, it's Memorial Day weekend. It was quite clear that I had company. It was extra people, extra dogs, and the dogs barked. And so these people turned me in for noise something. I can't even remember what noise ordinance or something. So I said, oh, so it's against the law for dogs to bark outside. And she said, well, you're allowed 20. She's sending me all the rules with my email. You're allowed 20 minutes. I don't know if it's per day, per hour, or what the fuck. The thing that just got me was these people are just so, they're like heinous. It's like, how much more despicable can you be? I mean, I'm assuming it's these same ones because this has been their tactic since I moved in. When somebody's dog made the mistake of getting in their yard, who was visiting me before I had my fence up, and pooped, then, well, I mean, we're not out in the woods. So then it became, oh my God, there's all this barking right now. Because the neighbor's dogs next door, they've got 4, but their dogs come out and bark. And because who closed the gate, they can't get through. So now there's just constant barking when they're all out. But they get excited to see each other. And it's like once a day, maybe twice a day. And it lasts like 10 or 15 minutes of this intense barking. Sometimes not even that long. And it is like, oh my God. It's just so weird how people are just so, I don't even get it. Like, but when that dog had pooped over there and then they came out and started yelling at me and cussing at me, I just moved in. They didn't even know me. And they're out there threatening me. They're going to beat me up and stuff. And then I started getting the Humane Society showing up on complaints about my dogs. And then that's what this one was. So I'm assuming it's the same people. But every time a dog barks, I always think, like, it doesn't matter where this dog's barking, those people are only going to hear it coming from my house. Any aggravating noise. And it's so crazy, too, because this is like the no, where it shows like this no awareness, because this is the same person who feels completely... what is that called when you, like, not just justified, but empowered, like, to just go out in the middle of the street. Or she'll just sit out on her back patio and just have these intense personal conversations, cussing, telling people's business. And she's just, oh, man, I mean, if Tacky had a picture... So, yeah, it just is so aggravating. A part of me is just like, fuck it. Then I'll take the goddamn ticket. Let my dogs fucking bark. But they're also the type of people who would 100% show up with a gun or with a gun or that's the thing that I worry a lot about with, because the putting poison on something and throwing it over, because that was a big thing there. Let me just walk through. Apparently it's quite intense little walk there, but yeah, so when people are like that unstable or something, like they're so focused on you, like hyper focused. And like right here, like I know I'm hyper focused from a lot of areas. And then plus being able to pick up energetically and know, and then always have it confirmed. But it's like I know that I'm focused on. I know from over here, over here, over here. Like even when someone's here, they will say like that they can feel eyes on because yeah, and it's always the way it's been too. Like when I think about it, I've always had, and I'll go and like if I'm standing in the kitchen, yeah, of course I'm gonna notice if there's somebody out my window playing or whatever, but I'm not like going and trying to watch and see what they're doing. Sometimes there'll be a lot of movement, and because I can't see, everything is like, I just can't see good. There's something in the way of my eyes. And so when I look out, I can just see movement. Sometimes I'll be trying to focus and see what it is, because it is, I don't know, it's something like your eyes see something and then your brain starts being like trying to figure out what it is. So I'll be like watching and trying to figure it out. But I just don't feel like I'm like constantly spying. Yeah, I notice if people are out, but I'm not like spending my time trying to watch them or something. Some people are so loud outside that you can't help but notice. And it's nice when there's peace and quiet. But also, you know, I know that the dog thing is not, it is not like my dogs are outside left all day and I'm at work, and my dogs are outside barking distressfully all day long. They go outside, somebody walks by or rides their bike by, they run to the end of the driveway and bark at them. And the neighbor across the street said how much they enjoy that, because they always know that somebody's going by when they hear my dogs bark. But yeah, those other people are just so over the top. But you know, it's all perspective, it's all perception. So anyways, I feel like when I share these things, that I feel like it can help other people too, because we're all dealing with this kind of stuff. And you know, anything that I would do that, like, I'm not going to do something to make something worse. Like, it may come to my mind, like, yeah, sure, I start coming to my mind with her out there screaming, and they're always raising a ruckus. They've always got a ton of people at their house. They're loud as can be. And you know, they think they rule the neighborhood apparently. And thought, you know, oh, I'll just play right back. I'll start calling the cops, and then the cops will show up, and I'll make noise complaints on them and stuff like that, and say that I hear violence and stuff. And then I thought, well, you know, where's that going to get me? It's just more intense, more intense, more, you know, I've just got to pull back, keep my own dogs safe, not go against these people. There's just a lot of people right now who are just like, I mean, I've talked about that there's people like driving through my neighborhood just shooting. And then so I've been watching next door when these alerts come up about these shooting, and everybody seems to be hyper focused on it. And then somebody got arrested in my neighborhood. I didn't even hear that one shooting, but I had noticed that ever since last 4th of July. There had been so much shooting and so much explosions. I was like, oh my God, what are the Tifas out here just fucking practicing? You know, because they've taken over a lot of areas around me. So it's like, what the? So who knows, you know, what's going to be ahead of us. But I can definitely see if some doesn't start getting these people out of their, I don't even know, this weird, crazy bubble that they have got themselves in, of this thinking that they are superior somehow, and they are justified in their actions and whatever they do. It's like, is so opposite of unity, and you know, it's weird. But that's what I wanted to talk about. But now I've already talked 10 minutes about this, so I just want to talk about this another second, and then I'm going to do another one talking about that. The difference with the woke, the wake. And I'll just add this in here too, because, you know, I have been around some people lately. I've been having company and stuff like that I've been talking about. And there is, you know, different realities. And so it gives me something to kind of look at or talk about. And so I kind of want to share, my thoughts about that. So I want to talk about that. But one of the things that got brought up, and I've just noticed this, because I even noticed it because I always, about the Dixie flag or whatever you call it, the Southern flag that was like on those kind of, I don't know, what was that show called? The Dukes of Hazzard, that flag. So I always took it, because I grew up in the South, and I always took it as like, the racist people flew it like, woo, we believe in, I wasn't even sure. It just always went to that in my head. So anytime I would see somebody who had that flag, automatically I thought those were one of those people. They had to be a racist person, or they couldn't like that flag. And then, some things, like made it like it was a cool, like Dukes of Hazzard or whatever. And so, I don't know. I didn't really think that much about it when I was doing tattoos. If somebody asked me to tattoo it to them, I would be like, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do a swastika or something like that, just because it just represents something that's negative to me. And so then when I started talking to people I didn't agree with, which I've talked about this a lot, and I started hearing other people's views and stuff, and then you start realizing, like, there's people who have different thoughts about that flag. They don't all look at the flag the same way I do. They have a whole different thing. It represents something totally different to them. And then when you start noticing that, it gives you this, like, a different view of things, a different view of people, and a different view of, like, what this can represent this to these people, but it represents this to these other people. It's like totally different things. And so, I had to release that judgment. I had to be like, okay, well, then I can't say everyone's racist, because that's not what it represents to them. It represents something, fighting for freedom or something. I don't even know. It just doesn't matter, because it doesn't have anything to do with me. But it just gave me, like, that judgment's coming from within me. I'm putting that judgment on that thing. And so I think that's important for us to all recognize that. But, that keeps coming up right now because of our regular flag, our regular one that we've all saluted for, or pledged our allegiance to for ever since I was in school. And anyways, and then, it kind of went down for quite some time. I don't remember, but it just seemed like it became kind of negative or something. But anyways, now it's being just really put back up. But it represents freedom. And to everybody who's out there and they are flying their flag, they're showing that they believe in freedom. It represents freedom. And when I had first seen the guys with the pickups, flying them and stuff, I thought, how redneck, what is up with this? Why you gotta drive around with your flag flying? And now when I see them, I see I see something different. I see these guys just out there like, freedom. We're done with this. We will not have this tyranny. We will not be your slaves. So to me, it just really represents humanity breaking free. It's just, that's our flag right here in this country, but it's all over the whole globe right now. The same thing is happening. And, I just feel like it's really exciting. And that's what it represents. I don't know of anyone else right now. I mean, if you're flying a flag and it represents something different, then you can enlighten me with that. But as far as I understand right now, that the flag, especially the American flag, because of 1776, and for us to separate and to claim our freedom and our sovereignty, that's what's happening again, only we're claiming it away from the corporation, away from the controllers. We're taking our freedom, and we are, saying we're free. We're human beings. We are not going to be under your tyranny anymore. We're not going to be poisoned by you. We're not going to be controlled by you, manipulated, So anyways, if the flag means something different to you, let me know. And I want to do another one real quick because I want to talk about something else that came up. Okay, I'll be back in a minute.